Most people think expensive Scotch automatically tastes better than cheap Scotch, and most people are wrong. The difference between a $20 bottle and a $20,000 bottle has almost nothing to do with how it tastes in your glass. It has everything to do with understanding what you are actually paying for at each level. These are the 7 levels of Scotch whisky. By the end of this, you will know exactly where to spend your money and where you are just paying for a fancy box. Level 1. Entry blends. This is where 90% of the world's Scotch drinkers live, and there's no shame in that. A blended Scotch combines malt whisky from multiple distilleries with grain whisky, which is cheaper and lighter. The master blender's job is to create consistency. Every bottle of Johnnie Walker Red tastes exactly like the last one, whether you buy it in Tokyo or Toronto. The big names at this level are Johnnie Walker Red Label, Dewar's White Label, Famous Grouse, and Cutty Sark. They typically run between $15 and $25. Here is what most people get wrong about entry blends. They are not failed attempts at making good Scotch. They are specifically designed for mixing. That Johnnie Walker Red in your highball or your Scotch and soda is doing exactly what the blender intended. If you are drinking these neat and wondering why Scotch fans get so excited, you are missing the point. These bottles exist to be mixed with ginger ale, soda water, or even green tea, which is massively popular in Asia. The best value at level 1 is Famous Grouse. It consistently beats bottles twice its price in blind tastings, and it works beautifully in cocktails. Level 2. Premium blends. This is where things start getting interesting. Premium blends still combine malt and grain whisky, but the ratio shifts. More malt, less grain. And unlike entry blends, these bottles carry age statements. That number on the label means the youngest whisky in the blend is at least that old. Johnnie Walker Black Label, Chivas Regal 12-year and Buchanan's 12-year live here. You are looking at $40 to $60 typically. The extra age does something important. It smooths out the harsh edges that make entry blends better for mixing. Premium blends can actually be sipped neat without burning your throat. But here is what the marketing will not tell you. The biggest improvement is not the age, it is the quality of the component whiskies. Johnnie Walker Black contains malt from some of Scotland's most respected distilleries, including several from Speyside and the Islands. At this level, you are essentially getting a greatest hits album of Scottish whisky for the price of a single bottle. The best value at level 2 is Monkey Shoulder. It is a blend of Speyside single malts with no grain whisky at all. Technically, that makes it a blended malt rather than a blended Scotch. It drinks like a single malt, but costs like a blend. Level 3. Entry single malts. This is where Scotch stops being a casual drink and becomes a hobby. A single malt comes from one distillery and uses only malted barley. No grain whisky, no blending between distilleries. What you taste is the pure expression of that one place. The classics at this level are Glenlivet 12, Glenfiddich 12, and the Macallan 12. You are spending $50 to $80, though Macallan often creeps higher. Entry single malts are designed to be approachable. They are usually aged in bourbon casks, which add vanilla and honey notes without overwhelming the spirit. Distilleries want these bottles to convert blended Scotch drinkers into single malt enthusiasts. The mistake beginners make is assuming 12-year single malts are somehow inferior. They are not. They are the foundation that every distillery builds its reputation on. If a distillery cannot make a good 12-year, their older expressions will not save them. Both Glenfiddich and Glenlivet trade the position of best-selling single malt in the world year after year, each moving over 1 million cases annually. Light, fruity, easy to drink, and often on sale because the volume is so high. If you are enjoying this breakdown, hit subscribe. I cover spirits and cocktails every week. Now we get into the levels where your palate actually matters. Level 4. Regional expressions. Scotland has 5 official whisky regions and each one produces dramatically different flavours. Speyside is the largest region with the most distilleries. Think elegant, floral, often fruity. Macallan, Glenfiddich and Glenlivet all live here. If you like smooth and approachable, Speyside is your home base. Highland covers a massive geographic area and the flavours vary wildly. Glenmorangie is delicate and citrusy. Dalmore is rich and sherried. Oban is coastal and slightly briny. You cannot generalise the Highlands the way you can other regions. Lowland Scotch is the lightest of all. Auchentoshan and Glenkinchie produce grassy, gentle whiskies that work beautifully as aperitifs. Campbelltown was once the whisky capital of Scotland with over 30 distilleries. Now only 3 remain. Springbank is the star, producing complex, slightly funky whisky that cult followers obsess over. And then there is Islay. Islay is where Scotch gets intense. The island distilleries produce heavily peated whiskey with smoke, iodine, seaweed and medicinal notes. Laphroaig, Ardbeg and Lagavulin are the big 3. People either love Islay or find it completely undrinkable. At level 4, you are spending $80 to $120, and you are no longer just buying Scotch. You are exploring geography through a glass. Level 5. Age statement premiums. Now we enter the territory where bottles start requiring serious consideration before purchasing. 18-year-old Scotch and beyond represents a fundamentally different product. The extended aging softens tannins, concentrates flavours, and adds complexity that younger whiskey simply cannot achieve. But there is a cost beyond the price tag. Every year a whiskey sits in a barrel, roughly 2% evaporates. The industry calls this the angel's share. An 18-year-old cask has lost over 30% of its original volume. A 25-year-old cask has lost over 40%. You are not just paying for time, you are paying for evaporation. The benchmark bottles at this level are Glenfiddich 18, Glenlivet 18, Highland Park 18, and the various Johnnie Walker premium expressions like Gold Label and Blue Label. Prices range from $150 to $300 for standard releases, with special editions pushing much higher. Here is where you need to be honest with yourself. Most people cannot reliably distinguish an 18-year-old from a well-made 15-year-old in a blind tasting. The differences exist, but they are subtle. You need a trained palate to appreciate what you are paying for. If you cannot explain why you prefer an older whiskey beyond saying it costs more, you might be better served spending that money across multiple bottles at level 4. Level 6. Cask strength and special releases. This is where whiskey transitions from beverage to experience. Standard Scotch is diluted with water before bottling, typically down to 40 or 43% alcohol. Cask strength Scotch skips that step entirely. You are getting the whiskey exactly as it came out of the barrel, often at 55 to 65% alcohol. The difference is profound. Cask strength expressions deliver intensity and complexity that diluted versions cannot match. The flavors coat your mouth differently. The finish lasts longer. Adding your own water lets you customize the experience to your preference. Major distilleries release cask strength versions of their core expressions. Aberlour Abunad, Glenfarclas 105, and Laphroaig cask strength are perennial favorites. Then there are the special releases. Diageo's annual special releases collection features limited editions from distilleries across their portfolio. Independent bottlers like Gordon and MacPhail select individual casks that never appear under the distillery's own label. Prices at level 6 range from $120 for entry cask strength expressions up to $500 for sought-after special releases. Prices vary with rarity and provenance. The danger here is hype. Limited releases create artificial scarcity. A bottle is not automatically better because only 2,000 exist. Some special releases are genuine revelations, others are marketing exercises with fancy packaging. Read reviews from trusted sources before spending at this level. The whiskey community is helpful and honest about what deserves the premium. Level 7. Ultra rare and collector grade. We've officially left the realm of drinking and entered the world of collecting. At level 7, you'll find bottles that sell for thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. Whiskey from distilleries that closed decades ago. Single cask releases where fewer than 200 bottles exist worldwide. Expressions so old that the distillery itself no longer has any remaining stock. Macallan dominates this space. Their 1926 60-year-old sold at auction for $2.7 million in 2023. That's not a typo. One bottle, 2.7 million. Closed distilleries command particular reverence. Port Ellen shut down in 1983 and only reopened in March 2024 after 4 decades of silence. During those closed years, remaining bottles became legendary. Brora closed the same year, reopened in 2021, and original pre-closure bottles still sell for thousands. Here's the uncomfortable truth about Level 7. Most people who buy these bottles never open them. They are investments. They are status symbols. They are retirement funds shaped like whiskey bottles, and honestly, that's fine. The whiskey market has created genuine wealth for collectors who bought 30 years ago. A bottle of Macallan that cost $100 in 1990 might be worth $15,000 today. But if you're buying ultra-rare Scotch because you think it will taste proportionally better than a $200 bottle, you will be disappointed. The law of diminishing returns hits hard at the top. A $5,000 whiskey might be 5% better than a $500 whiskey. Maybe 10% if you have an exceptional palate. That math only works if the money genuinely does not matter to you. So where does that leave the average Scotch drinker? The sweet spot lives between levels 3 and 5. From entry single malts through age statement premiums, roughly $50 to $250. This is where quality and value actually align. Buy a few bottles at level 3 to find which region suits your palate. Then explore level 4 to understand what different parts of Scotland taste like. Splurge occasionally on level 5 or 6 when you want something special. Unless you are building a collection as an investment, ignore level 7 entirely. That money buys 10 excellent bottles instead of one legendary bottle. 10 excellent bottles will bring you far more enjoyment over time. The best Scotch is the one you actually drink. Everything else is just expensive furniture. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want more deep dives like this, and I will see you in the next one.